Just checking on my teeth right now. See if I make this frown upside, not upside down, but smiling. Hello, welcome on all. We're just gonna talk about the Day of the Dead because November the 1st, it's still Spook Week, and today it's actually an important day, not for people who just celebrate for the Day of the Dead, but also for all other Halloween feasts and celebrations, usually personal or also community wise, celebrate All Hallows Eve and such. So today we're just going to talk about Day of the Dead. Figured because I have this handsome smile, makes me happy speaking about it, along with also figuring out the meaning of the sugar skull. It's pretty fascinating. Movie Coco actually showcases that to actual animated beings that are talking, speaking. But that is actually a real thing. And we'll see it right here. We're going to talk about the Day of the Dead, Wiki. So, Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead, Spanish Dia de los Muertos, is a Mexican holiday celebrated in Mexico and elsewhere associated with the Catholic celebrations of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. Souls? Huh, the weird pronunciation. Okay, so it looks like the way they formatted it is about it would. Yeah, the. What is it? Yeah, it being here, but it's probably how you put it. Hmm. It is celebrated in countries with large indigenous populations, including Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, and Guatemala. Multi-day holiday involves family and friends gathering to pray for and to remember friends and family members who have died. It is commonly portrayed as a day of celebration rather than mourning. Mexican academics are divided on whether the festivities has indigenous pre-Hispanic roots or whether it's a 20th century rebranded version of the Spanish tradition developed by the presidency of Lizardo Cardenas. Okay. To encourage Mexican nationalism through an Aztec identity. The festival has become a national symbol and as such is taught in the nation's school system, deeply assertive a native origin. In 2008, the tradition was inscribed in the representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. Let's browse to show what UNESCO is. It says right there, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Do, 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 do. The holiday is sometimes called Dia de los Muertos in Anglophone countries, a back translation of the original Mexican name, Dia de Muertos. Where in Spain and most of Latin America, the public holiday and similar traditions are typically held on All Saints' Day, Todos los Santos. The Mexican government under Carnitas switched the festivity to All Saints' Day, Feliz de Fuentos, in an effort to circularize the festivities and distinguish it from the Hispanic Catholic festival. Hmm. The Dias de los Muertos was then promoted throughout the country as a continuity of ancient Aztec festivals celebrating death, a theory strongly encouraged by the Mexican poet Octavio Paz. Traditions connected with the holiday included building home altars called ofrendas. So let's quickly there as here. An ofrenda is a home altar with a collection of objects placed on ritual displays during the annual and traditional Mexican Dia de los Muertos celebration. An ofrenda, which may be quite large and elaborate, is usually created for an individual person who has died and is intended to welcome. So I believe this would be welcome them to the dead. Let's just quickly go here, just affirm that. Yeah. Welcome them to the altar setting. Okay. Do, 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 do. Honoring the deceased using kavras, Aztec marigolds, and the favorite foods and beverages of the departed, and visiting graves with these as gifts. Visitors also leave possessions of the deceased and the graves. So let's go briefly to look at these. The calavera, so that would be the official name, is a representation of a human skull. Usually it's just referred to sugar skulls, but it. So what my understanding is that it's a bit interchangeable, but they will definitely point that out if you're planning to purchase one or slash eat it, because there's some that are just pure decorations and one that are edible foods. So make a decision. Tell the kids not to eat the decoration. And you have these. Either the Mexican marigold or Aztec marigold is a species of genus that Taquitas native to Mexico, despite it being native to the Americas. Yep. It is often called African marigold. So, yeah. These will be also some of the colors I represent here too, but it depends on which region you are because, marigolds, I, they don't necessarily grow in grasslands slash desertish regions, which I believe that's most part of Mexico, northern Mexico, because Mexico is big enough to actually have so many diverse biomes that I was like, there's a difference between northern Mexico and southern Mexico. Like, what is it in the U.S. or Brazil, as an example? Observance in Mexico. Altars. Ofrendas. So, if you remember the movie Coco, Ofrenda, they mentioned, they always just mention the altars. So most of the phrases, along with also other, what is it? And other Pixar and even Disney, to the point they usually use the native lingua franca in phrases. Eh, like fun fact, what is it? I keep on thinking of the Animal Kingdom for some reason. Lion King. Many of the names of the characters, since they're creatures, there's Swahili, where it's like, example, Pumbaa is actually Swahili for, what is it, stupid, which, poor Pumbaa. So let's go with here. Oh, altars, ofrendas. People go to the cemeteries to be with the souls of the departed and build private altars containing the favorite foods and beverages, as well as photos and memorabilia of the departed. The intent is to encourage visits from the souls, and to the souls will hear the prayers and comments of the living directed to them. Celebrations can be humorous tone as celebrants remember funny events and anecdotes about the departed. Plans for the day are made throughout the year, including gathering the goods to be offered to the dead. During the 3-day period, families usually clean and decorate graves. Most visit the cemeteries where their loved ones are buried and decorate their graves with ofrendas, altars, which also include orange Mexican marigolds, represented here. Uh, Taquitas erecta, called uh, Sam on Cam Sempacholi, originally named Sample Hog Sholi. Yeah, I have a hard time with understanding Mesoamerican phrases and names. Nactua for 20 flowers. In modern Mexico, the marigold is sometimes called Flor de Muerto, flower of dead. These flowers are thought to attract souls of the dead to the offerings, It's also believed that the bright petals of the strong scent can guide the souls for cemeteries to their family homes. I could also guess that it's also the brightness of the color. We also have the whole thing where, marigolds tend to grow in certain times of the season of the year during a particular season. But here's probably also another thing. I take it it's also very colorful, that it can correspond as a light, a light source, because many altars usually have a lighting candle to signify so many things, um, to many people. So I take it that to them, lighting a candle would mean like to actually grab attention for people to know that, to go to a certain grave due to it being active, because the family members or people actually like that light, so there's like, oh, there's actually people there, might as well go up to them. Oh man, it's my family, they always usually light it up, so if I see lights, like, okay, my family's there, let me go there. They sometimes do that when it comes to, what is it, trying to interact with ghosts and old folk tales. But yeah, maybe also the petals, that's also just to make sure you see a full colorfulness. I don't know. I don't know if ghosts can actually see color or not. The second movie of Bill and Ted trilogy, they did that gimmick and it was just cheesy. Alrighty. Toys are brought for dead children, los anglitos, or the little angels. And the bottles of tequila, mezcal, or pulque, or jars of atole for adults. Ugh. They probably also do it for children in the olden times before it was against the law, and then ghosts can't drink alcohol anymore. Families will also offer trinkets of the deceased's favorite candies on the grave. Some families have ofrendas in homes, usually with foods such as candied pumpkin, pan de muerto, bread of dead, and sugar skulls. This is go down here. Should be same image. Yes, same image. And beverages such as atole. The ofrendas are left out in the homes of welcome gesture and the deceased. Oh yeah, and it looks like they don't have hyperlink with that. Atole is a type of rice, uh, beverage. Uh, Actually, no, 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 no. I think it's just right there. Oh no, it's the Spanish language. It's atole. Not type of rice, but type of corn. Because what is it? Many places have their own, not staple, but a type of wheat grain, food and beverage. So in America, oh, okay, so in the rest of the world, so let's go with, excuse me, Southeast Asia. Usually you have a lot of rice, types of foods, usually drink or dishes, due to rice being a common staple. In the Americas, it usually would be corn, because corn is actually a commodity, even in North America, because it's such easy to actually make corn here, and it's just widely available. So, for me, I eat a lot of corn in my diet. So yeah, that's what I do understand. This is a dole. I don't know much. Don't know Spanish. The ofrendas are left out of the homes as a welcome gesture for the deceased. Some people believe the spirits of the dead eat the spiritual essence of the ofrenda's food. So, though the celebrators eat the food after the festivals or festivities, they believe it lacks nutritional value. Pillows and blankets are left out so the deceased can rest after their long journey. I'm gonna go out a mile and probably say this, but I do believe that's one reason why they have somewhat of this decoration, to actually show this is actually, what is it, a type of warmth clothing, as an interior decoration to make it homely, because what is it? That type of decoration right here. It's very similar to other um, was it blanket fabrics uh, seen in like in Eastern Europe and other parts of Latin America as an example. It's an interesting correlation that I see. That that's a thought that I keep on seeing whenever I see this. Alright. Pillows and blankets are left out so the deceased can rest after their long journey. In some parts of Mexico, such as towns of Mesquite, Patsquero, or Chancillo. Yeah. Excuse my Spanish, I don't know much about it, but people spend all night beside the graves of their relatives. In many places, people have picnics at the grave site as well. Do, 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 do. Well, at least I'm learning Spanish, I think, but it's no difference from me learning about Old English and French for the last few wikis I've read out loud. Some families built altars or small shrines in their homes. These sometimes featured a Christian cross, statues, or pictures of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Let's find a picture here. So yeah, they have this. They should. Well, let me actually just go to a side quest to find the picture. Yeah, Mary, Mother of Jesus. It should have the one that is commonly associated in, was it Latin America? But there's different interpretations like this one in Macau. So part of China. Well, it used to be part of Portugal, but now it's just mainland China. Alrighty. You have the Roman Catholic things, you have an old Persian, so Middle Eastern, along with I think yeah, Turkish, it's like that. Yeah, they actually don't show it. Maybe it's on a different name stuff. I digress. Let me actually briefly look for it. Okay, actually I found it. Virgin Guadalupe. So yeah, it's something very common that it's seen in many Hispanic communities in the U.S. So usually when it comes to the Virgin Mary, it's usually Our Lady of Guadalupe. Yeah, Spanish, Nuestros Hermanos de Guadalupe. Yeah, it's right here. It's a Catholic title. The Blessed Virgin Mary is associated with a series of 5 Martin apparitions in December 1531. So it actually has a big history, along with also Pope Leo the Eighth granted the image a canonical coronation on 12 October 1895. So it very much means the Pope canonized this image to the, what is it, Christianity multi universe, so the Catholic MCU. But yeah, actually has the image there because I have guessed that is gonna talk more about other things in this article. We'll see. The Blessed Virgin Mary. These sometimes feature Christian cross, statues or pictures of the Blessed Virgin Mary, pictures of deceased relatives and other people, and scores of candles, and an ofrenda. Traditionally, families spend some time around the altar, praying and telling anecdotes about the deceased. In some locations, celebrants wear shells on their clothing so when they dance, the noise will wake up the dead. Some will also dress up as the deceased. Food. During the Day of Dead festivities, during the Dead of the Dead Day of the Dead festivities. Actually, you know what? Yeah, this website actually does show other issues like the volume control. That's interesting. Okay, let me. Do, do, do. Woo, woo. Okay, this is good. Volume. Or at least that's so much I can do. Sorry if I blew up you guys' ears. But yes, I did a test, tinker with it. The volume should be good. So, well, I'll talk more about that once I finish. Food. During Day of Dead festivities, food is both eaten by living people and given to the spirits of the departed, of their departed ancestors as a friend does offerings. Tamales are one of the most common dishes prepared for this day for both purposes. Yeah, I recognize tamales. Traditional Mesoamerican dish made of masa or dough, which is steamed in corn husk or banana leaf. Yeah, because corn and bananas are the foods for the New World, or pretty much the Americas. So, yeah, I mean that's the same like somewhere I've found all of this, going to a Mexican or uh, was it offensive? A Tex-Mex restaurant. Both have good food, so not much to do with. So yeah, Pan de Muerto and Cavaras are associated specifically with the Day of the Dead. Pan de Muerto is a type of sweet roll shaped like a bun, topped with sugar and often decorated with bone-shaped pieces of the same pastry. Cavaras, or sugar skulls, display colorful designs to represent the vitality and individual personality of the departed. In addition to food, drink is also important to traditional Day of the Dead. Historically, the main alcoholic drink was pulque or pulque. What is this? It's an alcoholic beverage made from the fermented sap of agave plant, traditional to central Mexico. Okay, so even other people from Mexico don't drink this because it's not that common. The color of milk sometimes fishes consistently in a sour yeast-like taste. Eh, whatever gets you drunk the fastest. The main alcohol was pulque, while today families will calmly drink their favorite beverage of their deceased ancestors. Other drinks associated with holidays are elote, no, otol, and champurrado, warm, thick, non-alcoholic masa drinks. So let's see what this one is. Also known as Otoli or Otol de Eltol, is a traditional hot corn and maza-based beverage of Mesoamerican. Yeah, so corn. It's corn. A lot of things are made of corn. Champurrado is a chocolate-based Otol, a warm and thick Mexican beverage. So, chocolate corn um, taste beverage. It's not alcoholic. So, yeah, safe for the kids, I guess, versus pulque. Jamaican iced tea is a popular herbal tea made of the flowers and leaves of the Jamaican hibiscus plant. Hibiscus dabadarfa. Okay. Let's see what it is. Oh, Rosella. Nah. Known as Flor de Jamaica in Mexico. It is served cold and quite sweet with a hot of ice. Their ruby red beverage is called hibiscus tea in English speaking countries and called agua de Jamaica, water of hibiscus in Spanish. My hands are still numbed from the cold winds. Calavera Uh, those with distinct. Well, let me put this here. I'm not gonna cover it, but yeah. Those with a distinctive talent for writing sometimes create short poems called caveras literas, skulls literature, mocking epigraphs of friends, describing interesting habits and attitudes or funny anecdotes. This custom originated in the 18th or 19th century after a newspaper published a poem narrating a dream of the cemetery in the future, and all of us were dead, proceeding to read the tombstones. Newspapers dedicated caveras to public figures with cartoon of skeletons in the style of the famous caveras of Jose or Lupe Posado, a Mexican illustrator. Theoretical representations of Don Juan Dinero or Dinero by Jose Zorrilla in 1817 through 1895, 93 are also traditional on this day. Yeah, and also messing up the dates. 1817 through 1893. Posado created what might be the most famous print. He called the print La Caveira Catrina, the elegant skull, as a parody of Mexican upper class female. Posado's intent with the image was to ridicule the others that would claim the culture of the Europeans over the culture of indigenous people. The image was a skeleton with a big floppy uh, with floppy hat decorated with two big feathers and multiple flowers on the top of the hat. Posado's striking image of the costume female with a skeleton face has become associated with the Day of the Dead, and Katrina figures often are a prominent part of modern Day of the Dead observances. So, observances. Yeah, this is actually the picture. It actually gets a full image. Caveira Katrina. Okay. The common symbol of the holiday is a skull in Spanish, caveira, which celebrants, celebrants, brights, brats. Huh, how do you pronounce this? Well, not with the R. Yeah. Which celebrants represent in mask called calcas, colloquial term for skeleton, and foods such as sugar or chocolate skulls, which are inscribed with the name of the recipient on the forehead. Oh, sugar skulls can be given as gifts to both the living and the dead. Other holiday foods include pan de muerto, a sweet egg bread made in various shapes with or shapes from plain rounds to skulls, often decorated with bright frosting to look like twisted bones. Local traditions. Let's read this. Local traditions section needs additional citations for verification. Yeah, improve the article. Wiki really needs people help, but we're getting close here. So local traditions. The traditional activities that take place in the celebration of the Day of the Dead are not universal, often vary from town to town. For example, in the town of Pátzcuaro on the Lago de Pátzcuaro, Lake Pátzcuaro, hmm, in Michoacan, Michoacan, the tradition is very different if the deceased is a child rather than an adult. On November 1st of the year after a child's death, the grandparents set a table in the parents' home with sweets, fruits, pan de muerto, a cross, and rosemary, used to ask the Virgin Mary to pray for them, and candles. This is meant to celebrate the child's life and spark an appreciation for the parents. There is also dancing with colorful costumes, often with skull-shaped masks and devil masks in the plaza or garden of the town. Hmm. At midnight on November 2nd, the people light candles and ride winged boats called mariposos, mariposas, butterflies, to Jean, Janso or Nitso, Nitso, an island in the middle of the lake where there's a cemetery to honor and celebrate the lives of the dead. Hmm. An island full of uh, offerings and givings for the dead. Hmm. Pretty spooky place. I wonder if in America, if they ever had such an island, it's going to be just a tourist attraction run by Disney. That would be different. In contrast, the town of Octopec, north of Cuernavaca, yeah, let's just look at this. It's the capital and largest city of the state of Morelos in Mexico. Okay, so it's a state. City Cuernavaca. Yeah, I'm still not pronouncing it right. Opens its doors to visitors in exchange from veladoras, small wax candles to show respect for the recently deceased, and return the visitors receive tamales and pulpo. This is done only by the owners of the house where someone in the household has died in the previous year. Many people in the surrounding areas arrive early to meet for free and enjoy the elaborate altars set up to receive visitors. In some parts of the country, especially the cities, where in recent years other customs have been displaced. Children and customs roam the streets, knocking on people's doors for a calorita, a small gift of candy or money. They also ask passerbys for it. This is a relatively recent custom. It's similar to that of a Halloween trick or treating in the United States. Another peculiar tradition involves children and is La Danza de Viejitos, the dance of the old men. When boys and young men dressed like grandfathers crouch, and jump into an energetic dance. So not crouch, grandfathers crouch. Okay. Sound a little bit pervy when putting it that way, but yeah. Young boys getting dressed up and then sitting next to the grandfather's rap and try to enthusiastically enjoying their time, like jumping right in front of them, not giving them a high kick, but what else? There's also the sea also, which talks about some of the celebrations. Oh, Spooktober. Yeah, there's the literacy that we looked at. And we could go with Scarred. It's found in various cultures around the world. And we could actually look at that. Versus also Thursday of the Dead. You can browse through that. References is actually it talks about what you can look at. There's a good amount of them. Along with further reading. That's pretty much it. And this one's actually separate. See also, or sources, because they usually change their names. And I was listed just number 2. But yeah, this one's a short article because really only a few places, mainly in Mexico, actually celebrate this. Besides that, let me actually look at excuse me, something visual to show you. I figured I just showed the regular keyboard. Hope you're working fine. Now, right now, I just search Day of the Dead pictures just to get an idea of what it is because not many people see these. Yeah, I got them. So yeah, just put a Day in the Dead, and what comes up is just the sugar skull art. Celebration and stuff like that. This one is fairly cartoonish, so it's very scary. Along with it being paraded around during the daytime, it is it's far less frightening and just fascinating, especially when it comes to uh, children and other ages that actually would have a heavy hand with the celebration. Look at this. Good. Oh yeah, this is a bit scary. Or this one actually. What's the deal? Okay, this one's horrifying. This one is blazing. It doesn't even look like it was like cinematically decorated. Especially these like pretty much painted and stuff like that. But yeah, very colorful skulls, along with that smile, this smiling face. Which this one's a little bit creepy compared to like these. Even the ones that would look identical, it's different. Doesn't represent much of a skull, but rather, well, the human skull and the true anatomy of it, but rather a exaggerated cartoon figure. So yeah, different to celebrate. Also, along with the flowers in the background, the the native marigolds. Yeah, yeah, this is a festival, Mexico. Even, yeah, even the names are changed. Yeah, too bad they don't have that in the U.S. when it comes to festivals much. Oh well. So yeah, on the Day of the Dead. Let's also look at the picture of the front and how they organize it. Yeah, the main image here. All right, it looks like we can't get a good look, so I'm just gonna zoom in. And you have a Christian cross along with the decorations. Pretty much here. This drape is red veil, probably to symbol of Catholicism along with Christ. But you also have all these fruits and stuff that look like offerings, along with a drink and it looks like water. Actually, I got this wrong. I thought this was a drink, but no, it's a candle, and this would be for. What I am curious about is I don't see another bowl of water. This could be a bowl of water, but who knows? Maybe this could be a other beverage. But with this water, a thing to understand about altars is that candles, lighting up candles, is pretty important stuff. However, there are fire hazards. So usually for people who have their own personal altars, what do is they usually would also have a small, not pitcher, but just a glass of water. That is not an offering, but rather to actually put out any candles if you're not able to. Yeah, because it's emergency or it's a method to actually get rid of candles. Because apparently there's some people have different ways to get rid of the flame while being respectful. So someone actually would just douse the water once they're done giving their time um, along with the offering. But not sure if this symbolizes and stuff like that. If you don't know that, yeah, that's a good thing to look at if you ever think of making one. Or if you want, you could always just get a light bulb, or was it one of those candles that's just electric that looks like a candle? Yeah, just to make it easier. You could also recharge it via USB Type C if you want. Get some Thunderbolt 3, some RGB lights. Pray to Almighty Pogger in the world. Also, yeah, I might as well talk about it because of freaking Cyberpunk 27th had been delayed, and it's almost been like a decade. It was announced, and people have been waiting. So, to you, the people who have a friendos of Cyberpunk 2077, because it probably is not going to release until 2077. Remember the people who have, uh, you could say passed away, but well, just say moved on and waited and then moved on from playing the game. So yeah, these are also nuts and stuff like that. Okay, candle, beverage. Alright, with the candles, you have bread and the flowers. Olive. Oh, melons. Cool. Alrighty. So yeah, we got the game today. We got our sugar skull that's just do. And wearing the cute dress, showing a bit cute cleavage though, so it's a little bit inappropriate, along with lack of skin. But yeah, let's go with the other things that are in the Sorcerer's Soul. Dance Macarita. This reminds me of the spooky dance. Let me actually find it. And yeah, the spook dance is mainly for Halloween, but who cares? It's Day of the Dead, so. So that's Halloween related, right? Come on, da 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 da, you load up, load up. Yeah, I get it. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I got it. Oh man, the images are. Ah, darn it! Oh man, sorry. Sorry, let me get pop these up. A big hectic. But yeah, pretty much have just the spook things stuff. Let's go through here. Alright. Next, McCree. Yeah. Well, let me actually do. Nah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna go with. I'm reading a bit of this. Dance Macaribi. Yeah, it's French. Don't know how to pronounce it. Damn it. Also called the Dance of the Dead, is artistic genre allegory in the late Middle Ages on the municipality of death. No matter one's station in life, the dance Macari unites all. What is it? Death unites everybody, so everybody dances equally, like a party. Yeah, sure. And Cabri's consist of dead or the personification of death, some summoning representatives from all walks of life to dance along the grave, typically with a pope, emperor, king, child, and laborer. It's produced as memento mori to remind people for the futility of their lives and how vain were the glories of earthly life. Earthly life. Pretty much checks your mortality and makes you vulnerable to know, hey, this happens to people. It happens to everybody. Its origins are postulated from illustrative sermon texts. The earliest record visually scheme was now lost mural of Holy Innocents Cemetery in Paris, dating from 1424 to 1425. There's pretty much up to 1 through 11, but let's see, just 1 through 16 because see also notes references further reading. Probably talk a little bit. Let's go with background. Francis Rapp writes that Christians were moved from the sight of the infant Jesus playing on mother's knee. Their hearts were touched by the Pita, and patron saints reassured them by their presence, but all in the while, the dance macabre urges them not to forget the end of all earthly things. This dance macabre was enacted at village picnics and at court masques. Yeah. Oh, darn my French, man. My French is bad. Ugh. But not worse as my English, especially my old English. With people dressing up as corpses from various strata of society, it may have been the origin of costumes worn during All Hallow Tide. Now let's just reminisce with it. Hallowmass season is the Western Christian season encompassing the kingdom of All Saints Eve, Halloween, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day. So yeah, different phrases. Those are the paintings. I'm not gonna go through them. We just look at visually with skull, well, buff skull, dancing skull, oh, there's a Costco skull, bacon skull, naked skull, sexy skull, and what is it? Strongman posing. Yeah, but these other figures that name. Oh wait, so that's Apple eating. Oh my god. The Templars are associated with Halloween. And you have these, the skeletons, one of them boxing some of the man, and then medieval royalists. Along with this is an extension. Oh yeah, a bunch of these paintings show a bunch of people in medieval society, different classes and demographics, perishing stuff. I didn't talk about much of the demographics, but you could actually see that with the serfdoms, um, the merchants. So yeah, this is interesting. A reminder of the University of Death in the St. Peter's and St. Paul's Church, Vilnius. Hmm. Alrighty. Yeah, you also have the La Cavera Katrina and Memento Mori. Let's actually connect this here. First, let's go with Thursday of the Dead. Learn a bit of it because it's actually just the overview on today. Now they view it. So let me just go with the beginning. Thursday of the Dead, also known as Thursday of the Secrets, Arabic Kashmis al Asara, or Thursday of the Eggs, is a feast day shared by Christians and Muslims in the Levant. It falls sometimes between the Easter Sundays of the Catholic Church. No, Catholic and Eastern Orthodox Christian traditions. It is a day on which the souls of the dead are honored, a popular day among women in the region, and it underscores the shared culture between Arab Christians and Muslims. So it's both a holiday to celebrate Christians and Muslims in the Arab world. I think this will be some Halloween traditions is also custom here. So I could go with that. The sharing the tradition between Christians and Muslims is thought to date back in at least the 12th century when Saladin urges Muslims to adopt Christian customs in order to promote religious tolerance in the region. During the crusades, mainly from the first to the third, when it came to what is it, the day of parts in Jerusalem and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah. So that actually would originate from, let's say that. And you also have the other ones like Frederick Jones Bliss lecture on religions of Syria and Palestine in 1912 noted the Thursday of Death formed a part of Muslim mourning practices. So Frederick is somewhat German. The American archaeologist. Okay, so many people argue about it. Hmm. Portrait of Lebanese Muslim village, 1961. Okay, so actually promoting that. So throughout the history from the 12th century to the 19th century, you had many people. Well, actually, no, not 1900s, 20th century, really. I'm actually discussed about that. I think a lot of people celebrate it. We'll see. Commemorations of the dead are less commonly observed throughout the region today, due to the stable case of bread continue to be distributed on Thursday and Monday following the death of a family member and during the Easter season. In the Syrian city of Homs, Thursday of the Dead is still commemorated in the same way. Many there now prefer to call it Thursday of Sweetness, since the paraphrase of sweets by women and their distribution to children and the poor is seen as a double act of sweetness. I think it also means the act of alms giving, especially for devout Muslims trying to complete some of the pillars in their life. But yeah, along this, it's also Day of the Dead, along with other festivals, Feast of St. George. But for now, that's actually uh, see any pictures. So I actually do want to see the pictures of what they look like. Let me actually see that. Okay, okay, show it here. Yeah, the Thursday of the Dead. And yeah, I mean, it pretty much still shows the sugar skulls in comparison to the sugar skull and the Hall of Pumpkin. But let me look at how they celebrate in the Middle East. Oh, yeah, thank God. Started the Middle East, and then other things showed up around the region. So yeah, it's a good thing I put it in the other screen. Alrighty, so let's go with the that to the skull art. So skull art is found in various cultures in the world. Let's go through this. This is a long, extensive one. So looks like we just skimmed through it. Indigenous Mexican art celebrates the skeleton and uses it as a regular motif. The use of skulls and skeletons in art originating from the conquest the Aztecs. Expelled in stone sculptures and created striking carvings of their gods. Quetzalcoatl, the goddess of earth and death. Let's see a picture. Oh, yeah. Was portrayed by a necklace of human hearts, hands, and skull pendant. She was embodied with the drama and glider necessary to dazzle the subject people and convey the image of the implacable state. The worship of death involves worship of life, and while the skull, symbols of death, was a promise to resurrection. The Aztecs carved skulls in monoliths of lava and made masks of obsidian and jade. Furthermore, the skull of motifs were used in decoration. They were molded on pots, traced on scrolls, woven into garments, and formalized into hieroglyphics. Hindu temples and depiction of these Hindu deities have displayed skull art. So not just in Mesoamerica, but also in old uh, Indus, on in Hindi, on culture and customs. Interesting. Let's just skim through this with the Spanish invasion, Hindu art regime of Portofal Diaz, Jose Guadalupe Pizarro, Frida Gals, Surrealist, Choco Reyes, Superstitions and Saints, Rafael Tamal and the Mexican School, Francisco Dorado, Bodo, Nito, Chicano, Mexican American. Um, yeah, there's actually something I want to hint because it seems like this Hindu thing is just missed out of place. Uh, not just because it's not being, it's just being included here, but it's also just seems to be inserted here rather than like in the beginning of the section. But we'll see. Skull artists found depictions of Hindi gods. Lord Shiva has been depicted as carrying a skull. Goddess Chamuda is described as wearing a garland of served heads or skulls. Mandabala Kedara Shara Temple, Swara Temple, Chinizka's Temple, the Shimen Ranyana Temple. Some some of the Hindu temples include sculptures of skulls and goddess Chamunda. The temple of Kali is Denver with skulls, and we're doing Chamunda. I'm not still have a still a hard time pronouncing it. But yeah, there should be actually included above Spanish invasion. But oh well. This one actually just talks about people and their uh, art mainly. So yeah, it's cool. But yeah, there are a few things that small. Let me read this though, because this actually hits more to home. Chicano and Mexican slash Mexican American. Often Chicano or Mexican American artists turn to their history. Recently, a notable Nancy Nieto brings a bold resurgence to the ancient tradition of Mexican skull art, woven into a veil of rich colors and conventional forms adopted from the Vulcan school. Let me actually lift this up more. Got that. Her work removes the veil of the mystery of life only to reveal the mystery of death. She solves deaths a mystery, yet has a Maria's euphonic note of the epic origins of chromatic oxygen. She struggles to readdress Francisco Delaudo erotic themes and to step away from Rodolfo Nato's dramatic tomes. Her work renews the Aztec view of death as traditional cycle between individual life and unique wish to be. So it's more much a wholesome type of art that shows trivial things about a person and their parents decided just was it Toronto's erotic or Nato's dramatic. So looking at uh, these art, it's pretty much sexy. Art is sexy. The sexy man apparently, one that just crouches, trying to do sloth squat, I think, and maybe giving a middle finger to random skulls and grass crops and a shopper. And he's probably just saying that to the churchgoers. I don't know. This looks like a cross. But let's just quickly go here. Look at it. Yeah, it's cross. So why? Oh, he's probably swearing at the guy who's just working in the trolley just to make a living. Eh, yeah, it's not his middle finger, but still. Oh, dude, yeah, it's just a guy. He's just hearing another person talk. Well, probably he's gonna be stomping. Uh, yeah, this is just interesting. All right, here's the final last thing. Memento Mori, but I figured we could talk more about that in some other time because uh, I think this would be great when it came to the YouTube channel Una's Honest because I actually want to learn more on what it is and also their beliefs and sayings on that. But yeah, furthermore, I just want to announce uh, yeah, pronounce this. I'm going to stop using the webcam and instead use the microphone now. The reason why this microphone that has been just giving almost everybody a headache is because the webcam is creating a lot of interference with the ports, along with the docking station, even the laptop, and it even can't. It's damaging some of the ports because it's malfunctioning, and I can't do that. So, meantime, you're not gonna see my ugly butt, my smile. So, yeah, next time you see me, and for I could say, um, part time, you're not gonna see my face. You're just gonna hear my beautiful voice, and we'll see how that goes. Alrighty, take care, everybody. Have a good start for Monday.